Hello friend. Today we are going to see another gas giant living in the solar system. It can be found among the brightest objects distinguishable from the surface of our planet without an armed eye, because it clearly stands out in the Earth's sky, shimmering golden hue. The celestial body is distant from us at 1.4 billion kilometers, and is the sixth in our planetary system. The iridescent rings framing the beige disk clearly stand out against the background of the other planets, enchanting everyone who's ever seen it. Yes, it looks just perfect. The name of this beauty is Saturn. It comes from the name of the god Kronos from Greek mythology, who was considered in their pantheon as the personification of time. Saturn is proudly the second largest planet in the solar system, second only to its counterpart Jupiter. The radius of the sixth planet is 58,232 kilometers, and a huge mass exceeds the Earth's 95 times. As for the volume of the giant, it exceeds our planet by 10 times, and inside its gas ball could fit more than 750 celestial bodies similar in size to Earth. One day on its surface lasts 10 hours and 32 minutes, and one Saturnian year is almost 30 Earth years. As a result of the calculations of the trajectory, the distance and the set speed of travel, we get the data that the flight for us will last more than 3 years only one way. So we should think of a good way to pass the time. Having overcome the long journey, we can admire the amazing view of a huge gas ball of light brown color, framed by a system of rings, which spread out around the planet at 282,000 kilometers. And rotate side by side at a speed of 30,000 to 60,000 kilometers per hour. According to one hypothesis, it is believed that the particles forming the thin disk once were one of the moons of Saturn, which approached the giant, was torn by the gravitational force emanating from it. Between the clusters of ice blocks and dust can be seen gaps of different diameters, the largest of which is about 5,000 kilometers wide, called Cassini Gap. A total of 7 rings are located around the giant. The first 3 of these have the name of the Latin letters A, B, C, and are the largest of their friends. The 3 smaller dust rings are named D, E, G, respectively, and the outer and partially narrowest ring is called the Latin F. These rings consist of water ice, but in some of them the presence of stone is found. Their size ranges from small grains of sand to huge blocks of the entire mountain, and the brightness is due to the fact that the ice effectively scatters the sunlight hitting it. According to scientists' calculations, in about 100 million years, Saturn will absorb its rings, destroying ice in the layers of the atmosphere. Then it will become more like other planets in the solar system. Around the Lord of the Rings, representing a planetary system in miniature, rotates numerous satellites, which to date, there are 82, which is the largest number of all the surrounding planets. At the same time, during the research, new ones are constantly being discovered. Each of them moves at different speeds to make a complete revolution around the planet. Some need less than a day, while others take about 4 years. The largest of the satellites is Titan. The orange ball, with a radius of 2,574 kilometers, has a full atmosphere of nitrogen and methane, and under the dense smog of thick fog, scattered in the atmosphere, hides a surface dotted with round rocks, scattered in numerous dunes of multi-kilometer deserts, separated by mountains and methane rivers. In the area of the North Pole there are whole lakes and seas, which makes this satellite the only inhabitant of the solar system besides Earth that has liquidity on its surface. Volcanoes above it spew a mixture of ammonia and water of very low temperature, so the local lava does not burn but freezes. Titan is the second largest of all the system's satellites after Jupiter and Ganymede. It is believed to be very similar in structure to Earth in its younger years, billions of years ago. Its studies have yielded evidence of the possible presence of an ocean deep beneath its surface, with conditions suitable for biological life. This makes the satellite of great interest to the scientific community. As we approach the bands of space ice, we look around and notice a glittering white ball in the region of the E-ring. It is Enceladus, a tiny moon 500 kilometers in diameter. It is as interesting to the scientific community as its orange neighbor, because its icy surface is studded with numerous geysers, which shoot upwards tens of thousands of kilometers with fountains of salt water. This satellite is an anomaly for the whole solar system. As far away from the star, it receives a small amount of sunlight, but it is still hot and geologically active. It is assumed that Enceladus is heated by tidal forces emanating from the gas giant. As a consequence, the process of eruption on it never ends, and under the surface, formed a liquid ocean, the depths of which have all the necessary conditions for the emergence of biological life, such as organic compounds, liquid water and sufficient temperature. Scientists plan to study this moon in more detail in the future. In addition to the above-mentioned satellites around Saturn, there are numerous others, the most famous of which are Thebes, Mimas, Tethya, Diona, Rhea, Hyperion and Japhet. All of them except Pheba are in synchronous rotation, and always face the sixth planet with only one side, like our moon. Having flown over the rings, we take the necessary distance to analyze the gas giant, and contemplate how in its depths move an infinite number of clouds. Sometimes they reach a terrifying speed of up to 1,800 kilometers per hour, while creating bizarre whirls and shooting bright flashes of lightning. Of all the variety of lines and clots, the great white oval stands out the most. It is the strongest anticyclone, which periodically appears and disappears on the planet with intervals of about 30 years. And its enormous size can reach 17,000 kilometers. Clearly separated strips that we observe in the atmosphere appear as a result of temperature difference, and according to our records, the strongest winds walk in their center. In the upper layers of the planet, the temperature ranges from 182 to 150 degrees Celsius. Saturn has no surface, as well as its neighbor Jupiter. But unlike its brother, this giant has a dense metallic core, surrounded by metallic hydrogen. It is located in the thickest of the clouds, at a depth of about 30,000 kilometers, and has a temperature of about 10,000 degrees Celsius. The pressure of the local environment filled with hydrogen and helium is about 3 million atmospheres, and gradually increases closer to the core. Our sensors also record Saturn's magnetic field, which stands out from the other inhabitants of the solar system, with a rotation symmetric to the motion around its axis of the planet itself. We conduct a detailed analysis of the atmosphere, and find that the planet has a very low density, and if we could place a similar structure on the Earth's water surface, it would float up and hold on to its surface. At the North Pole of Saturn there is a huge vortex of geometrically correct hexagonal shape. Its size reaches 25,000 kilometers. Currently, no one can find the exact cause of its appearance, but there is a theory that this form gives it a separate jet stream, accelerated to a certain speed at which the stable, smooth wave. Also above the poles, can be seen bright oval rings of auroras. Because of its distant location, Saturn doesn't often receive visitors in the form of Earth-based spacecraft. And for all the time it's been flying, there aren't even a dozen of them. The most famous of them is Cassini-Huygens, launched in 1997. It was the first to orbit the gas giant, and was sent to explore not only the planet itself, but also its satellites. The Huygens probe separated from the station during its space mission, and successfully landed on Titan's surface, from where it transmitted valuable information about the first extraterrestrial ocean detected, as well as numerous photographs and data on the composition of the satellite's atmosphere. Cassini itself continued its work until 2017, after which it was sent to the clouds of the sixth planet, where it completed its mission, burned up in the upper layers of the gas giant. In 2027, a new mission from NASA, called Dragonfly, is scheduled to be launched. The vehicle will be sent to Saturn's satellite Titan, and is expected to reach its surface in 2036, where it will search for extraterrestrial life on its surface. At this point, we don't know what humanity will find in such a secluded corner of the solar system, but we will continue to follow developments. And now it's time to say goodbye to beautiful Saturn. I wish you a good day, and thank you for exploring the structure of our universe with me.